welcome back to Thailand ChitChat. Today we've got the Pattaya News or Pattaya Report with Craig McAvenue. So let's just move forward with that. Okay, Craig. So as I normally say, what's happening down in Pattaya? Oh, we've got to get somebody in Chiang Mai to do this because I want to be able to say what's happening up in Chiang Mai. So anyway, so what's happening down there?
Well, busy time coming up. I think Pattaya as a whole is quite busy from what I can gather. I was traveling the other day and I came back through Swanepoel, and one thing I noticed was a large amount of tourists, predominantly Asian tourists. I mean, whether they were Chinese or from other Asian countries, I'm not so sure. Very, very busy when I landed at Swanepoel. One thing I will say, though, is that certainly the immigration down there, which I think a lot of people have been saying have upped their game. And when you used to arrive and you used to see this mass of people, you'd think, oh, my God, I'm going to be here for best part of an hour. But these days, they seem to have organised that process so that you get through a lot quicker. But yeah, one thing that stood out to me was, the tourists that were traveling did seem to be predominantly Asian. I'm seeing a lot more buses on Third Road down in Pattaya. So I think we all know that's an indication of a return of the Chinese market. The Chinese market seems to be back, and yeah, we're busy down there.
Do you find there's a lot more Indians because we'll come up to one of the festivals in a little while, but because of the free visa, they get the free visa, more Indians there as well?
Yeah, I mean, oddly enough, when I'm talking about this specific situation, I don't know whether it was because my flight didn't coincide with the flight from India, but I didn't notice it when I landed. And when you're talking about people out on the streets, they do tend to sort of have their specific areas. I know they like it in South Pattaya. That seems to be the main area where a lot of the sort of Indian focused entertainment and everything else is. And not maybe an area I frequent that often. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm noticing it massively, but I'm just noticing, a lot of people. But yeah, my understanding is that there are a lot of tourists from all over the world, and it'd be interesting to see the numbers. And hopefully, from a business point of view, they're back up to perhaps where they were pre-COVID for the first time.
Yeah, because I also read that more Russians are coming in. I think they've got free visas back and forward for Thai and Russians because Europe blocked Russians going into Europe. But in the past, there was a phase a good few years ago where a lot of signs and things were in Russian. Yeah, are you finding it's in Russian, Chinese? Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the Asian influence is definitely there. I mean, again, it's areas, isn't it? And people, I think, guys listening to this, some of them may be Pattaya regulars, some may just come from time to time, but there's a lot of people that don't really sort of grasp the size of Pattaya, right. and also, how there are so many different areas. I mean, if you're down in Teppasit Road area, for instance, as you say, the likelihood is you walk into a restaurant there, the menu will be written in Russian as well as in English. And interestingly enough, Vietnam, those that listen regularly know that I spend quite a lot of time there, and that's where I bounce back and forward from. And there's a lot of tourists coming from there now. It seems to be their go-to. And one thing that I noticed the other day was, when you've got the exchange booths, it used to always be kind of US dollar. Once upon a time, it was US dollar, GBP, euro. Then sort of, the GBP started getting further and further down the list. I noticed that the Vietnamese dong and the Vietnamese flag was at the top of that list, So whether that's a reflection that, more Vietnamese are visiting and the US dollar was in second, and, other Asian currencies like the Singapore dollar, Taiwanese dollar, etc., were kind of more prevalent on these currency exchange booths. So I guess that shows a shifting in the sands, and I think on a lot of them, I think the GBP is not even on there anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny. What about the weather? I mean, we did the Holi report a week or so ago, and we were talking about weather, and there's a lot of comments about people saying, "Well, has it changed since the 1980s, or is it just?" Is it really El Nino or not? Because I was mentioning that at Songkran, it was raining more, but in the past it wasn't. So there was different comments back. So if you haven't watched the Holi report, have a look at the Holi report. It was very interesting, also talking about property. Yeah. But what about down in Pattaya? I heard last week there was heavy downpours, which we've not had in Bangkok. Yeah, we had sort of splatterings of rain, but very little.
Yeah, that's right. Noticeably, I was driving on the highway the other day when we had a large downpour, first one I can remember. I think needed. I mean, as well as the weather, we're struggling with a little bit of pollution up there at the moment as well. Certainly, when I've been out and about on the scooter, it's you're feeling it in your eyes and that type of thing, which isn't nice. I think the PM numbers have been pretty high. So sometimes a bit of rain, clears that. So I've been noticing that. And of course, we're getting to that point now where, we're getting the odd really steamy day. I mean, with April being the next month, that's the hottest month, as most of us know. And we're getting some silly numbers appearing from time to time. Although it's not consistent, there are still some nice days in between, but we're getting the odd sort of 37 and that sort of thing kicking about. And the real sort of steaminess of the hot season is starting to creep up on us, which also obviously reflects, a shift in the tourist season as well, whereby we're not high season anymore, and then certainly for March you may see higher prices than you would at other times in the year. Come April onwards, we tend to see a drop, and that's in terms of obviously hotels and golf courses and that type of thing. And so a few more deals to be had for those looking for a bargain after the end of March.
Right. Okay. So what's happening down there? What's coming up and what's been? Yeah.
Well, I'll do a little bit of plug-in for some of the events that I'm directly involved with, or Tenzing Pacific are the main sponsors of. We've got ourselves involved with the St. Patrick's Day parade this year. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but it's the 11th year that this has taken place. I was at a meeting at the town hall recently with the deputy mayor and some of the other, parties which are involved in organising this. It's obviously fun. It celebrates St. Patrick's Day, as do many cities around the world. But also there's an important charity drive behind it. The charity which is supported is the Father Ray Foundation. Again, although the guys were American, there's an Irish kind of background to that, and the Catholic priests, and they've been there, a long time looking after underprivileged and disabled kids. Do a fantastic job. I've met some fantastic people, and a big part of this St. Patrick's Day parade is about raising money, for these great causes. And I haven't been involved before, but through a friend, I was introduced to the idea. Seemed like a good idea to get involved, and also a friend of mine, Ken Doherty, who's a well-known Irish person and a former snooker world champion, is going to be in town, and it's through my friendship with Ken that he's going to be involved with this parade as well, and a guest of honor. And everybody wants to be Irish for a day, and they will be. What the idea is, you get a song town, you decorate it, you turn it into a float. People are out there. Businesses have the opportunity to promote themselves also with it. And and there's plenty of chuggers walking around raising money. Everyone's having a drink. I believe it starts at 4:30 at the bottom of Pattaya Klang, and then it goes all the way along Beach Road, past Walking Street, up Pattaya Thai, and then finishes at school number 8. It's called, on the right-hand side. Now, that was the latest that we had in these various meetings. As sometimes happens in Thailand, it seems to have changed 2 or 3 times in the last week or two. But I think that's going to be the plan, because previously they'd decided to start it at like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. But as we all know, especially with the weather the way it is, that's going to be crazy hot. So I think 4:30 p.m. Start sounds right. And also a little plug for an event after the St. Patrick's Day parade is over. Ken is doing an exhibition in Dicey Riley's, which is the Irish pub at the Avani Hotel. So people joining the parade, we welcome them to maybe walk from Pattaya Klang as far as Diocese, park yourself in a nice air-conditioned bar after doing your bit of exercise, and then just wait for a good night of pool, Irish food, green beer, everything that we associate with St. Patrick's Day.
All right. So are you dressing up as a leprechaun?
I will be dressing up as something. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. All right.
But,
well, basically what it is, let's be honest,
about
St. Patrick's Day is, the celebration, what it all means, etc. But it's just basically one big bevy session. And everyone just gets together. Yeah. And they've got the Irish ball up here as well. So they're going to have that. But yeah, it's between the Scots and the Irish. It's a bit like just an excuse for another reason to have a beer.
But it's great that it falls on a Sunday as well,
right?
Because of course people are off, and there's no reason not to go out on a Sunday afternoon. And,
it's the Sabbath. You shouldn't be drinking on the Sabbath.
Well, the priest does a little bit of wine, doesn't he, every Sunday? But I think also, hopefully that's obviously the parade. They're not closing the road. They only go down one side of it. Again, these were all discussions that we were having in these city hall meetings about, whether to close the whole road, whether to close part of it. I think only parts of it will be closed. So it's not like it's going to cause massive traffic disruptions. And whilst, it is a nice event and everything else, it doesn't clash with any long weekends or anything like that. So, one would hope we're not going to encounter too much in the way of, traffic and delays and that type of thing. And as I say, just good fun. Just people. The bands are there. There'll be Irish music in the bar afterwards. Hopefully, there'll be plenty of people sat around enjoying, as they do, Pattaya Beach Road and bars in the vicinity. And they can get involved and maybe walk the parade a little bit. And
walk the parade. It's going to be all like that. We're all drinking on the way. This is going to take 20 minutes to walk. 4 hours later.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's move on to the other ones. Yeah. You've also got the Pattaya Music Festival, which is coming up, and that is this Friday. Yeah. So they're going to have different bands. I don't really know any of the names of the bands. One's called Clear with a K, Polycat, Lamonsik, and they're all on the 8th of March. They're going to temporarily close off Beach Road from Dolphin Roundabout to Central Pattaya intersection from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. So if anybody's looking to have some live bands and be part of this festival, that's on this Friday. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that must be one of maybe half a dozen they seem to be having every year.
Lots are going on. Yeah, lots going on. I think they're doing a good thing. The question is if someone's going on holiday to relax and all you go around is from the bars you get the music, from the beach you've got the music, you're not going to get a peaceful time. But in saying that, you should be good to Bang Saray if you want a nice peaceful time on that side, or to
I think the hotels are nice hotels. They're probably quite well designed, and as you say, it happens at 9. Again, it just kind of illustrates that Pattaya appeals to such a wider audience these days. I mean, presumably the market of people travelling up for this is going to be Thais, younger Thais probably as well. You turn the clock back 20, 30 years and none of this was going on in Pattaya. It was very much renowned for the kind of old guy and the sex tourism and that sort of thing. And it's going to show that, that now it by no means defines Pattaya anymore.
That's right. So also we've got on the 23rd of March, the Happy Holi Festivals of Colours. So that's going to be in Pattaya. And basically this is the Indian Songkran. Yeah. So there's thousands of Indians and foreigners from different nations. They will be joining this festival, and they have 2 zones. They have the Hindu religious zone, and the area includes rituals and ceremonies, emphasising the cultural significance of Holi, which is it's a Hindu celebration, yeah. And then they have an entertainment zone where the participants will be engaged in organic colour splashing. So we've all seen this through advertising, and all the colours are getting chucked around everywhere. It struck you as more of a hippie thing than anything else, but it's obviously a religious thing.
And from my memory as well, I mean, I've been in a couple of places where they've had these holy festivals. Everyone's having a drink as well with this.
Right.
So it's not just the Irish. I mean, I think they use it as it's a celebratory event, like you say, and they'll be drinking as well, I believe.
Yeah.
And special food.
So basically, there's going to be live music, dancing, and Indian food and drinks, which is great. So that's on the 23rd of March. Now, I'm not sure if there's anything in Bangkok or a similar thing. I'm sure there is, yeah. But because they're not going to have different dates for the celebration. So that's that. And then also Songkran. Maybe you can explain about Songkran.
Well, I'm not sure I can explain as such. I'm only going on what everybody else is seeing as well. And I'm sure any of you that are on social media are seeing these reports about, Pattaya wanting to extend the period of celebration for Songkran this year. I think most people that live in Pattaya, without wanting to sound like, grouchers, find the period that they celebrate Songkran is probably too long already. It usually starts, a day or two before the actual day, to the 9th or 10th of April, and then they have their big day on the 19th, and very rarely do we get much respite in between. So, this talk about possibly festivities starting as early as the 1st of April, I think it's scaring some people into wanting to book to go away. Yeah. That said, I can't see it myself. I can't see how you can have something like this go on for 20 days. I mean, that just gets ridiculous, right?
Well, what they're saying is, the official days is Songkran starts on the 13th of April every year and extends to the 14th to 15th. That's the festival period. So basically, like Tet or the Chinese New Year, everything shuts down, yeah? Except for hotels and restaurants and things like that. But within Pattaya, they're talking about running it from the 11th through to the 19th. So basically, it is lots of...
Oh, good. So they've dropped that idea about the first then.
Well, this is one person's report, obviously, but basically, it's a water festival. Everybody throws water at each other. However, what I would suggest to people, if you're going to sort of a village area, or if you have a Thai partner or something like that, go through the proper festival, because it actually is a beautiful sort of ceremony where the old people are sitting there, and they will sit there, and the Thai will go to the feet and clean the feet, yeah, which is basically it's a cultural thing. It's a mark of respect, but also the festival is all about water. It's about giving respect back to the water. But it's also a bit like Christmas or something, like you treat the elderly with respect. It's not all about, chucking water, partying and things like that. I mean, in the past, I don't know about yourself, Craig, but they used to get really freezing cold water and pour it on your back, and it used to drive me nuts. It was horrible. And I go, sorry. No, you weren't. You loved that.
When they've got the blocks of ice, isn't it, in the back of the pickup truck? Oh. So obviously, as the day goes, the ice, it's absolutely freezing cold, and yeah, I mean, look,
see all these people having strokes at the side of the road. I mean, freezing. But dude, look at the proper side of it. It's actually very, very nice. I used to go up north and with family and see that, and we do it even here with when I got my wife's mother or something here. We will do that as well. It's actually really nice, and all kids and adults, because you're all doing it to the elder, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm one of the elders now. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, that sounds interesting. I've never sort of done that before. As I say, it's I've been to other parts of Thailand in Songkran. Obviously Bangkok and other parts. I think I've been down in Hua Hin once before, but I've never sort of done this pretty traditional what you're talking about, rituals that you're talking about. Personally, for me, I think I will be out of town. I mean, I can use it to coincide with a a business trip that's needed. So I think that probably does work out best. But I wish everybody having great fun. I mean, partly down to the fact of where my office is located, I wouldn't get away with anything.
Yeah.
So I think perhaps shutting up shop for a week or two.
Okay, so is there anything else going on down in Pattaya?
Well, I mean, I have a golf competition which is going to be run next month, personally, which is on the 5th of April at Burapa. Again, please feel free to contact if you're interested. The slight difference is that it's a mixed doubles competition, so therefore it's four-ball, better ball, Stapleford with mixed pairs. If you don't have a male or female partner, then we can help find you one, so we can match you a partner. Lots of prizes, charity auctions, mulligan sales, that type of thing. Beat the pro. We did it once back in November. It was the first attempt at it, and this is part of a series. One in April, one in July. There'll be one in October to finish the series, and there's some nice prizes for those that top the series. So yeah, that's something to look forward to once all the hard work of getting competitors involved is done. Because one thing about Pattaya, again, yeah, I think these events are great fun, and as you say, of course, I do it for marketing purposes as well. The same as working with the snooker stars, like the Ken Doherty events that are coming up next week. But they are a lot of hard work, and also, it is sometimes a tough crowd out there because there is a lot going on in Pattaya, right? But we have a go, and that's just my personal situation. As I say, Pattaya as a whole, I think things are on the up. Friends of mine who work in the hotel industry are telling me that they're running at high occupancy. As you know, a couple of weeks ago we had a long weekend, and I believe it was absolutely packed. But yeah, everybody needs to needs the opportunity to make some money.
Last question, yeah. Have you tasted the English bitter beer Dwyers down there? It's in Queen Vic.
I have, yeah.
It's also in Hemingway's, nice. Yeah.
It's in Queen Vic, I think, isn't it? On Soy 6, and I've had it in Bangkok as well. Yeah. And I think for for the quality of the beer and its price point, I think it's got good market potential. That's for sure.
You like the taste?
And there's a stout as well. The stout and bitter. Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if you haven't tried it, what I gather, it's available in Hemingway's on the lakeside, and it's also available in Queen Vic in Pattaya, and an awful lot more. It's going to be marketed out to an awful lot more pubs in Pattaya. So have a try. I think it's the only English bitter beer out there, but absolutely delicious.
Hemingway's Lakeside is where our event, our party is actually after the golf as well. So,
right, okay.
A shout out to Shane. I'll share this with him, and as I say, we'll and look forward to having some fun there.
Good. Okay, listen, thanks very much, Craig. That's great to get an update. Good to see you again. The last video we had with you was to do with the tax situation, which was very well received. So if you haven't seen it, have a look at that. We'll probably be doing an update in the coming weeks or so on what's actually happening on that, because things have come a little bit clearer. So we'll take things from there.
Okay, excellent. Enjoy your day, guys.
Thanks very much. All the best. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks very much for joining us on the Pattaya Report. I hope you found the information useful. Lots of things happening. We'll have another report coming out within the next week or so, and speak to you later. Thanks very much. Bye.